monk, but the like I don't know if he's commissioner or chief of detectives or whatever, but he's the guy who's like the pervy guy on Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, the guy that was put
Yeah,
the lotion in the
serial
basket guy?
killer. Yeah.
Wow. The skin wearer?
Yes. Sewing myself in.
You
Nice.
have to... And you hate women because they have the parts that you wish that you had.
It makes perfect sense if you drink enough.
All right.
Speaking of which, probably should get some more of that absinthe. We are waiting for 8 more fools to enter the Innistrad pre-release.
Man, 30 tickets.
Yeah.
That's kind of bullshit, isn't it?
It's not as bad as when you do a draft.
I mean,
Like, essentially we're
Each
spending
ticket is
$30,
okay.
but 6 packs would be $24.
Sure.
So it's a $6 entry fee. Where the bullshit really enters is that the prize payout is worse than if you wait a week.
Yeah, that's stupid. They should have better price payout for the first week.
They should.
Because, you know, they don't want to be douches after all, right?
No, you don't want to pull a Rosewater
Yeah,
and come up with Cowblade weeks after
curious, wasn't it?
Cudblade appeared. Somebody's been watching the site.
Yeah. So, well, somebody does Google searches of their own name to see how important they are. And the Rosewater mark brought him to the site.
That's right. You hate enough on the man who runs the magic shop.
And he's like, what the fuck is this
Come
about?
Yep.
So how long does it stay on this screen?
Until we get to
We have 13,
16
we
players. The K value up here
Oh, okay, gotcha.
tells us when our
When you
tournament
start
will
playing.
start. Yeah.
Pronounced, of course, Cavalio.
Value. Hyphen value. Okay.
I think the K and V are silent.
Oh, it's just Alio.
Value.
No, it's
Alio.
high value.
Yeah, the hyphen is not silent. It's actually incredibly loud.
That's a good sign, whatever that means.
All right. So,
Okay.
sort our rares, bitch.
That's right. We always start piles by rarity, and then even within that, looks like without even knowing what those cards do, because hey, it's a new set. Why would we want to know what we're doing
Ooh, you gotta
beforehand?
use the guy on the top.
We have several green,
Yeah.
but parallel lives.
In effect, we put one more token.
Unless we get real crazy on tokens, that's going to be more of a constructed thing.
Ooh,
This guy
pretty cards.
is probably worth playing.
Well, because he's got a cool looking card. That's all that matters.
I
Because
think it's a chick.
Is it a chick?
Yeah.
guy, girl, wolf, whatever it is, after it transforms,
See, lips, waist.
it has a recurring fight.
Really?
Which,
Oh, that's sweet.
if you think back to Ice Ages, which is probably, the last
bazillion
time
years
that you
ago.
played Magic.
I played up until they ruined it with Mirage.
Okay. But in Ice Ages, there was the Carplusian Giant, which you could tap and it would deal its damage. And
It dealed it back,
Right.
and it was incredibly hard. It was a card I never played with because I was like, I don't get this.
right. This is what fighting does.
Oh,
So
okay.
he deals his damage to someone, they deal it back, but it's a 4/4, so you can kill anything that's 3/3 or less with this guy. Recurring removal.
So
He's solid.
can they buff them as in response to this?
Yes.
So it's just like they're in combat, but you can force the issue.
Yes. I
And there's
think
no
so.
first strike and all that.
Right. And then Cage Breakers, whenever they attack, you put a wolf out for each creature in your graveyard. Ooh,
That's pretty good.
that guy looks pretty good.
So is this more like almost like a haunted deck type thing, like with werewolves and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The whole theme is
Okay. You know that romantic era vampires, werewolves, Jekyll and Hyde, that stuff?
Twilight?
No.
Okay.
You know that stuff though?
Yeah.
different
That's
romance.
what
Oh,
there
okay.
are cards in this that when you see the artwork,
Ooh.
you'll be like, "Oh, that's just this."
Gotcha.
They have it's all sorts of horses. There's a fly for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
This
cool.
guy is interesting. Makes me wonder whether we might want to play black.
Tap 2 on tap.
Because you can create 5/5 flying demons again and again and again.
Active ability, it's more. But I had that's the kind of thing that makes me think that putting parallel lives would almost be worth it.
And then we did get a rare land. This one just deals damage again and again, but
Okay.
at a bit of a price. So now we probably want to go and sort by color,
Sure.
knowing that I think we may want to go green based off of those 2 rares.
Fair enough.
So I would probably start exploring there.
Exploding.
I'm just gonna explode.
Nice.
A decent beater, not as cheap as like 6 for a 6/6 is not a great deal. But
You
it's
kind
not-
of hope for abilities with that, especially with three green.
but not bad, and we have 2 of them, so that would give us something pretty good on the high end. At worst, this is a giant spider.
Really expensive giant spider.
At best, it's
I guess it's only one more
yeah, and it could be a 4/6.
giant spider.
Yeah. So the upside's pretty big. We know that guy. This one is one of a decent one of those.
So do the werewolves
Transformers.
like? Does this come up?
Do
you
they
have lots of turns where no spells at all are cast?
on your turn? You could cast no spells, and unless they have an instant to cast,
Okay.
you could do it.
So you can kind of force it.
Yeah, you can force it, but at the cost of not doing anything on your turn.
Right.
Lumber Nut, I think he kind of has to be in a deck where you could maybe sack some creatures or
Sure.
do that to really make him work. This guy's really not bad.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of evasion. We talked about that one. Definitely good. Travel preparations. I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
It can just bump up your guys.
I can see its use, although there's a different card I like better.
Right.
Oh my god.
Caravan Vigil.
So this one, starts out as a grizzly bear. At worst, it's a grizzly bear. At best, it's a 3/3 guy that can only be blocked by green creatures.
And artifacts.
And yes, and artifacts. No, you're right.
Yeah.
For a second there,
You're like, fuck you, George. You
Oh,
don't know shit.
I didn't say that, but yes, that is what my look implied. Prey Upon is actually removal in green, which is rare, but that was one of Bob's favorite cards.
Ironically common.
And then, okay, this one is where you can search it,
Yeah.
and if someone died, you can put it out.
What was
So
the naturalize? Did you skip that one?
Oh, yeah.
It's a card from
Oh, okay.
1,000 other sets. It's
artifact
good
or enchantment.
removal.
Yeah. Normally, you either sideboard it in, although I feel like a lot of people are playing enchantments and artifacts. 'cause
There's a lot. Well, the curses
Yeah,
make it so that it's like, yeah, I'll put this in.
yeah. There are some good curses, and there's some good equipment. Even looking at ours, this trepanation.
I love the
blade
Trepanation Blade.
Is
Even if it is hilarious that I think so.
yeah. No, I think it's pretty good. Wooden Stake, if we're playing against a lot of vampires, would be a good thing to kind of remember that we have. Blazing Torch is great because even if they don't have vampires and zombies, it deals 2 damage.
Right.
So it can just become a shock. If we were going real heavy with humans, that one's decent. This gives us another way to search up land.
Mm-hmm.
And Cellar Door,
The 2 most beautiful words in the English language.
it's a little slow, but at the same time, it can find some creatures, or technically you could mill them with it. It would take forever, but you could.
From another show that's kind of pretentious.
Here, Blasphemous Act.
That's an expensive card. It better be fucking badass.
It gets cheaper for each creature, and it clears the board. It's a wrath.
Yeah.
Into the Maw of Hell.
which is just kind of awesome.
Yeah. I just want to cast one of those for
So,
selfish reasons. This guy is a reoccurring. You have to sack your creature, but that's a way
Okay.
to enable Morbid,
sure.
and it's dealing 2 damage when you do that. That's just an act of treason, essentially. Not bad. For 3, a 3/2 is okay. And
it prevents something from blocking.
right. And we have a couple of those. This one just hurts people on the ground. Riot Devils. A couple of those.
Potentially very good.
Yep. With the
A
first
little
strike,
expensive to get
that,
the first strike
that
rolling,
can be
but
distance or decent. There's some removal, although you have to
chuck cards.
have some cards to work with. A curse, although it's 1 a turn, but that still can add
That's
up.
a freaky looking card.
This guy can be very good, especially if you get him turn 1 and can get him attacking before they can establish their board. He can just become gigantic. That we probably wouldn't go with. And that's really good removal. There's a lot of things you can kill. And
With one.
and you can flashback, so you kill 2 things with 2 birds with 1 stone. In black, I'm looking for some removal. Would have been good if I'd actually, taken a bit more of a look at the spoiler before we did this.
I looked through, but there's a lot of cards.
Okay, so that one sacrifices the creature. I really like that card. Night Terrors.
There's a card that should always be foiled. That was awesome.
And the Life Linker's decent. Corpse Lunge is removal. But you have to have something in your graveyard. That's removal. That guy, I forgot that we had that guy. That guy's pretty boffo. And then down here, a 2/2 for 1 is pretty
But
good.
it does come into play tap.
Yeah, and then this is more removal. And then white is another place that has some removal. Smite
Big
the
things.
Monstrous, Slayer of the Wicked.
Sure.
I like this card a lot because you can flash it in just on its own, but also the surprise of untapping everything. And we
Sure.
have 2 of those. We have a Rebuke, so there's some more removal. Make a couple flyers. Another thing that could destroy a specific type of creature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A guided tap, so pseudo removal. Okay, and then in blue, let's see, a counter, a decent flyer, a decent removal spell, another flyer, probably not playable, a way to mill them, although getting cards in the graveyard is not always good, some card draw, and that guy would be a way to activate Morbid, I suppose. And okay, I would say green is going to be our best bet.
Okay.
After looking at all of that, creatures dominate limited and more specifically sealed. Sealed's going to be really slow, so getting to 6 is not going to be a problem.
Okay.
And I think we could take pretty much, maybe not the Lumberknot.
What's the Lumber not do again?
He's hexproof and everything until something dies, it gets bigger, but he's only 1/1 to start with. And we don't have any auras that I really want to throw on him.
Right.
The Ranger, though, I want that. Travel preparations. Maybe, because we might want to pair with white. I'm not sure. and then Prey Upon and Caravan Vigil. Over here, we definitely want our Torch and our Amulet. And I'm going to say that Blade. I think that is...
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it is too. So then, to me, it's either we repair it with red or white. For this card, we need red.
Okay.
We could splash a little bit of red, so
Sure.
we wouldn't have to go.
Do we
all
want
in
the
on
so? How many human creatures does it look like we're gonna have?
it.
Not a lot right now.
Let's go by creature type.
Human.
3, 4, 4. And if we go white, we might get there.
Right.
If
Because
we-
it's mostly just that the +2/+0 for something that costs 1 and then costs 2 to equip
right.
is
Yeah.
potentially pretty good.
Yeah. Potentially, if we have enough creatures and just need something to fill in, I would go with that or Cellar Door. Either one of those could very easily make the deck. Let's look at red. If we took that and that and that, so that gives us 3 kind of removal answers. This guy could be good. Probably put in Harvest Pyre as another removal. The wolf we said could be good. What did this guy? That could be good. Oops.
Well, we do have at least one thing that has Morbid, so.
And we'd probably rather go with the vampires than the devils.
Taking off?
Yeah.
Alright.
I have a...
Well, thank you.
No, thank you guys for inviting me over for a fun part of this. I love these cards, though. Like I said, this would be a deck. I'd almost actually gotta go buy the deck cards.
Yeah, no, it's a very... I'm actually a little
Pretty
surprised that Magic does not just do a art print book of their prestige sets.
Yeah.
It'd
Where
be
it's
nice.
just, you know, here is the art of Magic. This is Innistrad. This is
Right.
Magic set 12 or whatever.
I think they make money doing that because
You may as well. Now, of course, most of these are probably not intended to be viewed any larger than what we're seeing them at. So it's like, yeah, I can't. It's only the painting is only 6x4. I can't blow it up to the full 8.5 by 11.
Yeah. Sorry.
It'll
Just
look
can't be
it'll look
done.
terrible. See you later, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. See you tomorrow.
So at this point, we're low on our 2-drops, and if we took like Cellar Door, that would give us something to do with our mana if we don't have anything else to do.
True.
We could go something like Curse of the Pierced Heart. It wouldn't be bad to put out on turn 2 and just start dealing 1 damage each turn. We could take the dagger. We're a little low on creatures at 13, not completely out of it.
Well, let's see.
Of the creatures that are left, it's kind of like, I mean, Riot Devils are okay. Not a great deal. Or Lumberknot. Those are the only creatures.
I guess.
And there's this, but we wouldn't probably get the flashback off of it unless
Yeah.
we...
I don't see anything.
I think maybe Cellar Door.
All right. I was
You were going to say...
no. Actually, that was your argument of having something to just spend our mana on when we have mana to blow. Seems solid to me.
And we have a fair number of werewolves. 3. But being able to do something on our turn without casting a spell,
Could potentially be very useful.
yeah, is also a good thing. I'm going to put in Ghost Quarter just because if they have one of those awesome lands, like,
Sure.
this isn't really that awesome, but if they have one, I'd like to be able to destroy it. and we're
Part of me
playing two
wishes that we were
colors.
playing red-black just so we could actually.
Use it.
Are you running that card?
Right. 8 and 8. I'm okay with that.
Hey, a perfect split?
All right. We made our deck. Now let us know what we did wrong.
Yeah.
I think there.
Why didn't you play white? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
If it goes really bad, I would say white is. Oh. Well, we'll reply to
submit.
Drizzle, and we'll see you guys for round 1.